episode is proudly brought to you by our friends at Manhattan Avenue, the magazine and media company bringing you the extraordinary life from New York City to Cape Town and everything in between. Get your latest issue of Manhattan Avenue magazine currently available on manhattan-avenue.com. Manhattan Avenue, that's where you want to be at. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Vuyo Show for yet another installment of a riveting episode where I sit down with a fine person from New York who's doing something extraordinary. He's building something, and I want you to find out more about what he's building. So please do sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the next couple of minutes together with myself and the one and only Chimz. I didn't do a long intro because I want us to unpack all of that on the show. But let's pretend there's a studio audience here giving you a massive round of applause. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
That's good.
No, honestly, pleasure having me today. This is Chimz, by the way. And thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. I know you're a busy guy.
Some will say.
Let me tell you guys, it took so much to get him to sit on this chair. But we made it happen.
We're here now. That's all that matters now. We're here.
But I'm telling you for real, since December of 2025, I've been wanting to have a conversation with you.
Okay.
Because I was in Cape Town, you were in Cape Town, and I saw you on my Instagram. For some reason, I don't know how you popped up, but you were doing something cool. And I was like, who is this guy? You're right. And we're going to talk about what it is that you're doing, throughout the length of the show today. But give us a little bit of a glimpse of who Chimz is, not the typical backstory type of thing, but just what makes you who you are.
Makes me who I am. Honestly, the one way I would describe myself, I'm very spontaneous. Mm-hmm. And I think, all things considered, I just like to have a good time. Yeah. I think that's the bottom line. My one word that would describe me is enjoyment. Enjoyment. I
love that. I love that. And in context, again, what was happening in Cape Town is an extension of what you're building here in New York City.
That's correct.
And the first question I do ask my guests is, what on earth are you building in New York City?
In New York right now, I would say what I have been building is just a hub. Mm-hmm. A hub for, I think the biggest thing for me is just connections. Yeah. Being able to bring people together, but being able to bring people together for different reasons, For what you may have caught in Cape Town was bringing people together to enjoy the culture, the atmosphere, the music, and just to feel alive again. Yeah. And what that looked like was a series of dancing, So in New York here, just been trying to build a community that, we want to get together, and whether that looks like getting together on a dance floor, getting together in a coffee shop, getting together in the park. Yeah. It really just all stems from being together and being able to enjoy company amongst each other.
Yeah. And you have two franchises that I'm aware of. Yeah. Dance and Go Home, right? Yep. And is it Picnic?
And Enjoyment Series.
Enjoyment Series, where NYC. It's more kind of outdoorsy. Tell us about both of those. Which one came first? And where was the inception of them both?
Yeah, no, definitely. So Enjoyment Series, it really just started from 2023 was the first time that I had an event. And the first event was what I call the Blanket Series. And the Blanket Series was something for me, I'm not going to lie, the one cheat code I will say when it comes to being able to spend time with your friends and catching up with friends in one moment, that's what the Blanket Series was. Okay. It was a moment for me to not only partake in a picnic experience, but also being able to gather all friends from different walks in one place for me to just catch up with everyone. Yeah. And it initially just started off just sending out invites, inviting friends through just text, sending DMs like, hey, having this today, come through if you can. And then last year, I made it more public. So I started posting it on my public platform. And it just started catching steam, And I think what it is, it's we're looking for the same thing. We just want community. We want a space to just forget about all the things kind of going on with us, all of our responsibilities, and just having a good time amongst each other.
Yeah. But what about you it has that of wanting to connect people? Like, where does the context of that come from? Because, not everyone has that nudge or that urge to want to get people to come together, get people to connect. So what is it about you that you'd say innately is what makes you want to do that for the community?
I think it's always growing up in the family I grew up in. We, coming from like a Nigerian background, we had these things called conventions, or we'd host a lot. My parents would host a lot. So from having like, friends of theirs in the house to family friends of mine to friends of mine in the house, when we had these events, it was, for me, almost to say I kind of grew up in just the atmosphere of just connection, and kind of just seeing how my parents orchestrate these events in our homes, and even when we'd go to other homes and we'd also partake. For me, it was just, I like being around good energy, and the good energy is generally my friends, and I love meeting new people. So like all that kind of coincided to, can I create a place where not only can I spend time with my friends, but also bring like-minded folks around. And that's kind of like what my driving factor has always been within Jordan Cities.
I love that. And again, context, because now I'm getting to understand, okay, so this stems further than just you wanting to do it, but there's a little bit of background around, this is how you grew up, this is what you know how to connect people, you know how to bring people together. So that gives us context to understanding, your desire for wanting to see this. And what brought you to New York? I mean, this is, obviously it's the best city in the world, and yes, you want to come here, but particularly for you, what drew you to this city? What made you want to come here and be here and build here and live here?
It's funny, I came to New York, like not a lot of people know, but I actually came here to work on a startup,
Oh, wow.
So I came here to work on a tech startup. Long story short, things kind of went a bit left.
Yeah.
So we pivoted. And for me, I just went into a role of, getting into a career where now I'm a full-time event producer.
Wow.
And I think what it comes down to is New York is the place where you can make anything happen. And you can truly meet so many individuals from so many different walks that can also allow you to make it happen. And I think for me, New York kind of just became stomping grounds where I saw a community here, and the community just kept growing into something that just became way bigger than myself, So for me now, it's being able to create these moments. That's like truly what brings that fulfillment for me now.
Yeah. So is it great to assume that you had a tech background, or that's kind of the world that you existed in before you got into the kind of community building, events, and producing space?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Like coming out of university, I actually went into my initial career. I was a data analyst.
Interesting.
So very, very different walk of life. Yeah. I went into my initial career, I was a data analyst. And fast forward, I already knew that wasn't what I was going to do long term.
I mean, you're in Nigeria. Nigerian parents don't play like that. You gotta have a degree somewhere. If it's not tech, it's something. Law, it's medicine.
And it's funny because I was a pre-law student in university.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's sort of.
Yeah.
But of course, I didn't go into law. I started my career in data. And again, I already knew I didn't want to stay in that lane where, for me, I'm a very social person, very extroverted, where it didn't align to the things that I knew I wanted to do for myself. And, grateful enough, I then transitioned into event production. And that's, funny enough, it's always been something I've always had a passion in.
Yeah.
But now I just turned it into my career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for right now, and I'm sure a lot of people wondering at home, like, how do you make events a career? Like, the technicalities around that, we understand how you bring people together, but it's like, then how does that become a career? And I would be interested to find out from your point of view, because for you to leave a career in the tech world or data world to get into the space means that it's possible, it's viable,
It is.
So I really like to understand, and it's possible in New York as well, and you've done that. Dance and Go Home, that's something that you've also taken global. That's something that you've been able to kind of create a brand identity around as well. What does that as a business look like? yes, we have fun, we enjoy, but for you as someone who's behind the scenes creating, what does that look like for you as a business?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, with Dance to Go Home, when the initial idea, it stemmed amongst a friend of mine, Eze actually, who brought it up to say like, hey, this is something that would be kind of cool to do. You know,
Yeah.
what initially started Dance to Go Home was as a business was initially a party series. You know, we just
Okay.
wanted to create a new essence of moments that we can enjoy personally.
Yeah.
You know, New York is New York. It's so many different hubs out here, so many different niches. But for us, it's like, you know, we'd go out dancing and we just hear the same things.
Yeah.
And, you know, we wanted to actually take moments and, hey, like this is something that we want to
Yeah.
kind of not reinvent, because we're not reinventing anything at this point, but we are trying to create a different culture around
Yeah.
how we see parties or how we see dances. And Dance to Go Home started as party series to now turn into a lifestyle brand. And that's what's allowed us to take it global,
Yeah.
where we're trying to not only create these experiences in New York and DC and Chicago, but we're also trying to create these experiences wherever, you know, we can land. And
Yeah.
for us, our team, we are African.
Yeah.
And taking it back home was the priority. So as a business, it was not only just trying to cultivate these experiences, but also how can we bring the message along that,
Yeah.
you know, at the core of everything that goes on in this world, in this
Yeah.
life, it's like music, dance, culture,
Yeah.
and our own experiences is what brings us together. And that's what Dance to Go Home has been.
Yeah. And how do you structure that? Because you mentioned you have a team as well. I'm sure the chaoticness of the event itself on the dates happening is a lot, but you plan. It takes time to kind of conceptualize things and have things come to life. But what is the model of an event type of business? Like, what is a business model and structure around it that makes it a business and not just like, you know, having a good time or enjoying? But from a cultural standpoint, merging that to a business model, what does that structure look like for you?
No, definitely. It's always funny because, like, you know, people don't always see what it actually looks like on the back end of what does it actually take to curate a party or this event. And for us, it's, you know, there's a lot of logistics that play a role.
Yeah.
Like even every event, we plan it out months out, you know. And for us, it's from venue sourcing to, you know, who are the vendors we want to reach out to. When it comes to sponsors, you know, some sponsors have different, you know, seasons and tiers where this is where they would allocate and look for partnerships. So for us, it's, yeah, we are creating these events, whether they be parties, whether they be brunches or these hikes. But for us as the business, we are making sure that we are staying within a time frame of events that kind of fit the threshold of, it's like, I really just want to say it's a skeleton, you know? So from sourcing the venue, from booking the vendors, our talent, our partnerships of all sorts, we just want to make sure that we can have all of our assets in line to where when we're producing these events, like we make sure there's no hiccups. So we try to make sure we mitigate any issues that can arrive just through the team we have right now. You know, like it's a team of 8 of us for Dance to Go Home. Yeah, it's a team of 8 of us for Dance to Go Home. We have people who focus on the financial side of things. We have people who focus on the project management.
Yeah.
The individual who kind of keeps all of our calendars up to date and makes sure that, you know, our weekly meetings, we have our agendas every week. And we also have, you know, 2 internal talent. So when it comes to, you know, the music curation, they're the ones who kind of facilitate that, you know. So, and then we have operations. So we have like elements to what would run a business, you know, from every type of department we could think of. And we all share the same hats, you know. So that's also another part of why we've been able to build what we've been building now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really, we have the elements that we've created as a team to be able to produce these events at the scale we're trying to produce them in. And that's kind of what it's looked like from.
And it's sustainable as well, right?
It has been.
Yeah. I also wonder, like, you know how some other businesses, different depending on the model that it is, some require a lot of upfront costs. Would you say that this business requires massive capital to start, or is it something that kind of organically, naturally happens? At least in your experience, was it something that had kind of cost you? Did you need to raise funds? Did you bootstrap? Like, how did it begin in a way that kind of has made it to where it is right now?
Yeah, no, definitely. First event that we did, Dancing Home, was back in May 2024.
Okay.
So it's only been 2 years since we started. And it was completely bootstrapped. Like, you know, we knew that starting this off was going to have to be, you know, how bad do we want it? And how bad we wanted it was going to be dependent on, you know, just what we wanted to put into it. And that meant, you know, whether we had to pay a venue fee, we had to pay for talent, for media, for, you know, just the experience of how can we enhance it. Like, you know, we wanted to give our audience, you know, something to take home, you know. But our business model has really just been like, you know, from that first event that we did, the profits is what obviously, you know, we allocated towards, you know, the payouts at the end of it with our
So there
expenses.
was profit initially from the first event as well. Okay,
there was profit.
Yeah.
So from there was, okay, first event went well. Majority of the folks who arrived were our own friends, community, you know, who came to support us. And from there it was like, okay, like maybe we have something. It's still early days. There's no telling how this can really go.
Yeah.
You know, the first event can look amazing, but once you get to like event number 2, that's, you know, a bit more telling. So for us, that first event is what gave us that, you know, that confidence to say we do have something here. And obviously how it's going to go is going to be dependent on what we put towards and put into it.
And after that first event, were you able to recoup all of the funds and then have more extra to do the other event? Or you guys didn't take anything to recoup that money? Right, because you bootstrapped it. So did you return the money back to where you took it from? And then, so how did kind of that? At what point did it become a full-time thing?
Yeah, no, definitely. From the first initial event, we put it right back into the business.
Yeah,
you know, we said, okay, you know, the beauty of it was for our second event, we worked with the same venue.
Okay.
So now that venue understood, okay, like they came tonight and they did what they had to do, and we left, you know, on a good note. So reintroducing, hey, we want to do this event again here. That venue actually worked with us where they dropped the cost of the venue fee this time around, you know. So they saw, okay, they can bring a crowd in. There wasn't any wahala that took place within the night. Everyone enjoyed themselves. The staff was great. There were, you know, it was just a smooth night.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. So putting everything back in, we were able to now, you know, our biggest thing when it comes to Dance Go Home is how can we improve just the experience of our guests. Yeah. You know, they had a great time this first time around, but how can we make sure that they leave with something else, like something different for the second go around? And that's what it's been up until this point. We've stayed bootstrapped up until this point, you know, to where
no further investment or funding or
as of right now, we have been completely off just self-reliance right now. Yeah.
And I can also imagine it's the tickets, right? You mentioned partnerships, you mentioned sponsors as kind of some of the ways in which you are able to sustain the business.
Yeah.
Is there any other kind of tier that comes into play into making sure that an event coverage is able to happen?
Yeah, sometimes vendors also play a
okay.
role for us. You know, sometimes we have vendors who reach out who want to establish some sort of business for the day of the event, and, you know, we provide them a vendor fee, you know. So within those elements that you just mentioned, that's another addition. Trying to think if there's anything else that we would normally do. I feel like you hit like the main gist of it. Yeah.
Because also, again, this gives context to someone who might even be considering the events business.
Yeah.
But then the question is, the events business in New York compared to the events business anywhere else in the world are two different events, you know? So what is it about the New York space that you think makes your business make sense?
And New York is a fun market.
Yeah.
It's a tricky market because you have such a diverse demographic in New York. You know, we wanted to make sure that, you know, as a team of majority African, of course, like, you know, we wanted to initially kind of cultivate it around, this is diaspora, But being in a city like New York, for us, we also want to make sure we can grow, we can scale this. So for us, we had to, be proactive to say, like, New York isn't just our people, New York is all of our people. So whether it was, friends from the Latin community, friends from the Caribbean communities, friends from the white community, like Dance Go Home, we really just wanted to make sure we open it up. It's inclusive for everyone, So that's also what makes New York, because there's quite literally every culture and group out here to where it's hard to grow in a city like New York if it almost feels a bit too niche, like everyone can find their community, but it's hard to say that, you want this to kind of take a global scale, or you want it to take a higher scale outside of New York. And if you're not focusing on that trajectory and how can you scale this, and you can't, we've had it kind of like, go through an R&D period of like, you can't really just scale off of this one particular demographic in New York. Because New York is too diverse.
And it's really tricky because the ceiling then becomes the max of that niche. And speaking of scaling, leaving New York to touch base to other cities, you said DC, Chicago, but also touching other countries, because you guys are in New York. How do you gather people in DC, like in Chicago? Like, do you know people there? Like,
that's a great question. What people don't know is we're all kind of geographically diverse as well.
Okay.
So one of founders of Dance Go Home is alongside he's based in DC.
Okay.
So when we had our first New York event in 2024, we also had our first DC event in 2024. So we had Ezra in DC, we had Amanda who's in Chicago, we had Sumtho who was in North Carolina, and then myself alongside of Raheem and Obina, we're based here in New York, and another individual, Memo, based in DC as well. So our team was already geographically diverse. So when folks were like, how are you guys doing DC right after you're doing New York? That's actually that's what it was. We already had people there. We had people on the team who already established communities out there. So for us to kind of branch out, it did make it a bit easier, to say the least, because it was almost like a plug and play. It's like, okay, we're bringing Dancing Home to DC now. We're bringing Dancing Home to North Carolina. We're bringing Dancing Home to Chicago. And that's kind of like how and what allowed us to to grow at the rate that we did.
Yeah. And is the plan global domination? Because I know we go to Europe sometime. I was just like, he was in Africa, now he's doing Europe, America. Like, is that the goal? Is that what you guys are really trying to establish?
It's funny. I think the goal is, for each of us on the team, we've all kind of had our own intentions when we started Dancing Go Home, and why we're in and, continue to pour so much in is, for me, I love traveling. And I think, I've been solo traveling since 2022.
Wow.
So just for lack of better words, it's like the connections I've been able to make across the, just across the water and the various places that I've been to up until now. It's, I would love to give and provide an experience to those friends now, So I'm not gonna say world domination or global expansion, it's definitely to say, we plan on touching, more cities across the world. For the Euro tour coming up right now in July, we'll be in Portugal and Germany. In the UK, we'll be in France, and that's really to be able to, we kind of say we're crazy, like we're going at a rate where it looks like we're going after this like global expansion, but honestly, it's just to continue spreading the message to like everywhere we've been able to touch, and the places that have also just given us the best, experiences as well.
Yeah. That is so cool. You guys must put me in your suitcase. Like, I'm nice and tidy. I can fit.
You're invited. Any city you think of, you just let us know.
Just drop me in your suitcase. I promise you I can fit it and just go to it.
Listen, at any given moment, if you want to join us, We're all open. That's
So
it.
we can dance and go home. And the other part, which is the blanket series?
Mm-hmm.
How did that one come up? Because that one is a little bit more outdoor and
Yeah.
a little bit more intimate. Was the importance of that to make that distinction between what are we doing for Dance and Go Home and what are we doing for this one? So how did you come up and ensure that that also exists in the same capacity as the other one?
Yeah, no, definitely. Because like both do at the end of the day, the core is like, still the community aspect, still the
Yeah.
cultivation, the culture of it all. Blanket series, me starting that was essentially just a means to just spend time with my friends,
Oh, wow.
have a picnic, and just kind of frolic.
Yeah.
But when I realized that my community is a lot bigger than I anticipated, and I just, it became this thing that now, in New York, again, there's so many experiences you could have here.
Yeah.
You could have, I don't think there's a day where I could say I've ever been bored since I've lived in New York, But I think the biggest thing with the Blanket series is those wholesome moments are the moments that, truly bring everyone together.
Yeah.
And for me, that's actually just what I wanted to focus on, bringing people together that didn't feel like it had to have a price tag. It didn't have to have another agenda behind just bring your blankets,
Yeah.
bring your snacks, bring your drinks, and let's just, let's all just commune together.
Yeah.
And for me, Blanket Series, it's intentional because it's also want to make sure that, through it all, through even the amount of people who come out for it, I just want to make sure that, everyone feels seen, everyone feels like they are a part of this community, and it's been growing into something beautiful, and I'm grateful to see how it's been growing.
Yeah.
But at the core of it, it's quite literally just friends coming together, just to have a good time,
You had like 1,500 friends this past week. Like you have a lot of friends. You have a lot of, but that is also testament to how that we are all here, right? Everyone comes from somewhere and comes to New York, and we all come here, gather together, and the hustle and the bustle of New York. Sometimes we need those moments to just sit at the park and just bring a blanket and just enjoy, have a good time.
Yeah.
And some of us are going to watch it virtually via stories, but we're still there.
You can experience it.
We need those. So we appreciate people like yourself who take that initiative to say, I'm going to create the space, right? I'm going to make sure that it happens. And, people are coming together. And to make a business out of it is even more extraordinary. So I think that's something really, really great. And I'm interested now to also finding out, how do you, because you're around a lot of people a lot of the time, how do you center yourself, right? If there's like 1,500 people all around you, a lot of the time, but where do you see yourself as an individual in all of that, and kind of find your calm and your zen and center yourself to be able to keep going and doing this?
Yeah, honestly, I always just put myself in everyone's shoe, This past Sunday, seeing all the individuals who came out, there were folks who came by themselves, there were folks who came with friends. And for me, honestly, it's being I love being around people, and I love being around good energy. And I think for me, it's just easy to be around that and still be present, I think with the Blanket series alone, especially this past Sunday, I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't get a chance to speak to, there's at least a good amount of people I actually didn't get a chance to speak to, it was giving points. It was just like, you're having conversations. I'm meeting new people for myself for the first time. And, you get to know people. You get to just, for me, like I take a step back from time to time during the event, and I just kind of like stand with myself and I just like observe. And that's also how like I stay within, kind of like almost like a quick recharge, just seeing what it took to get here and seeing how far things have kind of come to this point. And those moments where I do step back in the event, I just like observe, and for me, it's just like, I just love being able to see that people are interacting with each other. I'm seeing maybe friends of mine from completely two different walks of life look like as if they knew each other for years, and it's just like, that's kind of what makes me keep going. You know, it's like these connections, these bridges that I can like cross. You know, for myself, it's to and out of New York from time to time, but to know that, you know, there are relationships that went past just this Sunday to now I can go on my story and I can see these individuals who I knew didn't know each other prior to this moment, they're now spending time together. They're hanging out. They're making their own memories. And like for me, that's what I truly love about it.
Yeah. And I wonder what is your outside of the business world? What does that look like? What type of, because I'm also sure that people who might follow your work or follow you or engage with you or might be discovering you, right? But don't know who the man behind the magic is. How do you go about describing yourself and kind of giving context to who you are as a person? And I'm sure that's something that no one really also asks you quite a lot.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
You know?
No. I'm like, wait.
Like, open up, Chimz, let's go.
It's like, you want to know about this, you want to know about that. Honestly, for myself, it's like, I'm a very simple person. I think above all else, I keep perspective that this life it can be very short. And I think for me, it's being able to make as many memories as I can now. You know, to be able to look back in my life at some point down the line and say, like, you know, these are all the like amazing people I was able to meet. These are all the amazing experiences I was able to have. Yeah. Let alone like not even thinking about creating those moments, but just being in them, you know? Yeah. So for me, I'm someone who, you know, I like to have a good time, but I like to be surrounded by just like genuine energy. I like to, it's funny. It's like I feel like I'm kind of getting to a place where I'm able to tie in all the things that bring me fulfillment, from traveling to creating experiences to being around good energy and being able to do that full time, you know? And I think that's still me at the core, like outside the business, outside of the jobs, outside of just like making those connections, being able to travel and just being able to experience the world in different perspectives is what speaks to me, you know? And I think being able to take all those things that I've learned over the course of the time and the many people I've been able to meet who've also shown me like just a different walk of life that, I'm like, this is interesting. Like, you know, how can I also just share that with other people, you know? And that's really what it is for me. Like, I just love learning. I love seeing how someone lives their day. Like, I'm very big into just like hearing stories of like how you're asking me these questions, but like I'm even curious about you. You know what I mean? It's like just being able to understand someone. You know, that's like my curiosity is what takes me there. You know? So.
And I'm curious about the lessons that you might say you've learned from your startup, the tech world, that you've been able to bring across to what it is that you're doing now. Because I always say this, like everything that we go through, that we experience, it culminates to a certain point.
Sure.
Every lesson that we learn, everything that we take. So what would you say, like, from that experience, from, you know, doing a startup to building something there and growing, you know, that, and what lessons have you taken to what you're doing now that are cementing what you're doing in a deeper way, in a more meaningful way?
It's funny because I think when it comes to the tech world, I think the one thing that has been very, very certain is that community is at the base.
Yeah.
You know, community, whether it's users for an app, whether it's consumers for the startup you're working on or for the business that you're building, the community is always going to be at the core because you need people to use it. You need people to test it. You need people to, you know, provide feedback on it. And it's no different from events. It's no different from production. It's no different from anything else. It's like, even if you're someone who's in the arts or in entertainment, you still need that feedback. It's like, how was my performance? Or, you know, did I edit this video to the point where someone watching it for the first time can understand what I was going for, you know? And I think my biggest learning is that you need community no matter what. And that's always going to be the forefront of anything that I'm doing. You know, how would my community respond to this? Would they like this? Would they want to partake in it? And also, how do they feel, you know? And what do they need right now? And I think right now, we've been struggling in the code. the weather is slowly starting to, uplift us. And I think the one thing that we all really want is to be together in spaces where we can just relax.
Yeah.
And that for me was market research. It's like, this is how we're feeling. This is what we want. Okay, let me try to create a space for that.
Yeah, yeah. And I think really every industry presents in and of itself things that could be translated and taken over to another. And it was kind of magically and beautifully. What does your family say now about what you do? What is it, what is the conversation that you have about about that? Because you've taken a completely different career in an industry. So what are those conversations like?
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes I like to. It's almost like my sisters. Sometimes they see me and it's like I almost have like a whole different perspective and perception of them, and that they have of me now. From what they once knew that I was into or I was doing, especially back in university, and I was studying politics and on my way thinking that law school is where my next lane was going to be in. To now they see like that I'm just over here traveling. I'm over here, creating these experiences. They'll text me and they're just like, where are you this week? And I'm just like, I'm like, funny enough, I'm in DC this weekend, or so it's like it's gotten to the point where my family has been able to see me and where they see what I'm creating, and they've been very supportive of it. Be as it may, coming from a very traditional Nigerian background, but my sisters alone have been super supportive of everything that I've done and anything that I've said, even if it was just a very ambitious idea that I had, years back, they were just like, do it, and that support alone is just like, the reason I always say it's bigger than me, it's because being able to do these things now, it's like, it's just really in hopes that people can also see that it doesn't take much to just start, And when you do start, little do you know, you are also creating just like a wavelength that people don't even know that they may need, that they want, and that they want to be a part of. And for me, honestly, with everything that I've started and done, I never knew how they're gonna go. It just started with, I'm in this space and I just want to be around my peoples, or I want to create a different experience for others. And that's always kind of what it's been. It's always just been, this is what I want to do and experience for myself. And creating that also then allowed me to see that, other people want to also be a part of this. Yeah. And so to this day, I would say my family's been very supportive of everything that I've been doing. And I think that alone is also another push to just continue creating, continue building. Yeah.
Because that love and support helps you to get the momentum and take those pauses and get that fuel you and keep going. And when you're traveling and, your friends, if you have a partner, how do you navigate ensuring that you still keep your core community, that's your core community, before the extended community, and those relationships are still being nourished throughout the business and the travel and the business and all of that you do?
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that is something I'm still navigating through as it continues to progress. I'm in a period right now where I'm trying to gather what this balance actually look like. From the times where I would travel, and sometimes I'm not keeping up with my friends as much as I would like to, just because I'm so immersed in where I am at that moment. I could be, wherever I am, I'm here now, and that's what has my attention. But nowadays I try to make sure, especially when I am in New York, that there's not a given day friends will say I'm always outside, and I don't even fight it anymore, because I'm outside with the intention to make sure I'm making memories with them while I'm here, and I think that has been my means to knowing what my schedule looks like and what, the season is going to look like with just the events coming up. It's okay. I'm not have an event today, like, who is someone I can catch up with, who's someone I haven't seen in a while that I want to, like, see how they're doing. And that's kind of been my main focus since coming back from Africa this year in January. I said I want to make sure that I actually know what's going on in my friends' lives, and with my family as well, just making sure that I, still focus on what I need to focus on, but also they are what bring me fulfillment. Yeah. And that's what I have to make sure I prioritize.
And I had a conversation with our previous guest about the same thing, that the nourishment of the relationships that keep fueling you is as important as it is the hustle and the bustle of New York, where you can really be hyper focused on this thing and kind of lose out on the value of relationships. Yeah. And I'd really love to hear your take on this before we kind of wrap up soon. But I'd love to hear your take on, we had a slight debate with our previous guest about why New Yorkers feel like the relationship part of things, where like romantic relationships is a no-go area for the New York scene, or a lot of people find it to be like it's said on social media all over the place that like dating in New York is a mess. Yeah. And you've come across a lot of people in your within your community. So what is the conversation around that? Why are people not immersing themselves? Why are people not getting into relationships as much as one would think that because we're all here to build? People are willing to build together. What's your take on that? What is going on in New York? And this also gives context to audiences who might not be in New York, but are hearing the stories about, how terrible the dating scene is in the city. Because everyone is kind of, doing their own thing. Because it's part of life. So what is your take on that?
Yeah.
The way you laugh.
I've definitely heard the discourse on it.
The discourse, right?
I think my point of view, honestly, as we talk about New York being the city that has and encompasses so many different things going on at all times, I think the biggest thing of why we kind of frame dating in the city to be poor, just like lack of, just not the best, is to a certain degree, New York is a transitory city for a lot of people. I think that plays a big role. Someone coming here you might meet today, and you come to find out they're only going to be here for the next 6 months before their next, next chapter. Yeah, and even if that's not the case, even if they do intend to stay here for a bit, I think New York is the one city I can say out of all the places I've been to that can expose you to so many different things that you can do. Interests that you didn't even know you had, you can find it in New York. You can stumble on it just walking down Midtown, and you're like, hey, I see these guys playing pickleball. Like, I want to play too, And I think for a lot of people coming to the city, it can be overwhelming. You have so many options of so many different things, and you also have so many options of people.
That's fun. Is that fun? Dude, and everyone's good looking in that thing. It's like, why is it? You'd be sitting on the train and you're just like, why is everyone pretty? Everyone's good looking in this city. So I can imagine that being a thing.
Because like, to be fair, like this is the one city in the world where you can literally be on a subway cart with every culture in the world. You could look to your left and there's someone from Guatemala. You could look to your right, there's someone from Korea. Like, I think what it is, it's like, some folks here, as especially if you're very new into the city, it's very easy to get lost in the options. And it's fair enough. It's like you're also still discovering yourself too. What do you actually like? Like, who you were prior to you moving to New York is a different version. Me moving from Jersey to New York, I definitely noticed a shift in certain things, like my mindset, just like my perception on things that I may have had a completely different viewpoint on. And I think for a lot of people who live in the city now, it's like, even if you've been here for 5 years, I feel like you are still discovering yourself to where sometimes it's not for everyone, but for some, commitment doesn't always make the most sense for them, or dating doesn't always make the most sense for them, because there's just the level of autonomy that people also love having in New York. It's a very sporadic and spontaneous city, and I feel like if you are someone who thrives on the chaos of it all, the waking up, you don't know what kind of day you're gonna have. It may make it a bit hard to imagine yourself to like be in these more
confined.
Yeah, and that's I don't want to say confined, but because should it even feel like that if you're, But all to say, like it's like everyone has a different viewpoint of like why they're in the city, but like also sometimes it could be a bit overstimulating to like how many things are going on in the city that you want to be a part of, and we only have so much time in a week, in a day alone, and then for those who are working hours at a time, it's you only have this amount of time for yourself. So sometimes you don't want to give that to someone else, So I think dating can, it can be impacted because of that, I only have 10 hours of free time within a week. Like, how do I actually want to use that?
Yeah.
So
they say you must go to Jersey or Pennsylvania. Just go out to DC or Houston. You'll find someone there.
It's so funny because I'm just like, maybe New York is just not the city for
it's not the city. It's like, don't, unless you came here with your person.
Right.
Then you guys can make it work. But
I think what it is for some people is that they choose to move in with their person. I think that's how they sometimes try to make it work.
Make it work,
to where we both have busy days, but it's like we come back home, together. Yeah. So it's like, there's ways around it, or there's ways of figuring out what makes sense for you. But I'll admit, like in New York, out of other cities, it's debatable, like,
I think 85% of people that I know are single in the city. Like literally.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You're like, why are you all single? Why is everyone single? But anyway, we're all here to build, and that's what's important, right?
Yeah.
And we're all here to create something bigger than ourselves, and that's why we come to New York in the first place. For you, what is the bigger picture for yourself? What do you kind of want to leave? What legacy would you say you kind of, have imagined for yourself and that you want to build and create? And that could be in business, outside of business, but you as Chimz the man, what is that kind of ultimate bigger picture that you have in mind for yourself?
Biggest picture, someone who is very impulsive. I love New York, but there are times I say to myself, I'll probably be in New York for, periods of time, like not the full year, not the, I think the biggest picture is like, no matter where I am in the world, being able to see that, all of the communities and friends that I still have in my life are everyone's good, just like in a space where here, so many creatives, so many folks who are also in tech, like there's so many different industries within New York, and it's outside of like cultivating those relationships, it's also making sure that, those friends who are looking to break into certain fields, are they a part of that ecosystem?
Yeah.
And for me, that question can only be answered because did I bring them into that ecosystem, or did I introduce them to those individuals or spaces to, network within that, So that's also a big part of it. I think for me, looking back at it, it's like legacy, and that's always such a tricky question for me. But I think above all else, I just want to be able to see that everyone that I've been able to cultivate and nourish a relationship with have also done the same and continue doing so, It's like, I love that, friends and people trust me to create these moments and, create these spaces. But it's also nice to see that other people are doing it too, And I think that's also what I want to leave. It's like, if I'm not in New York, I would love to see there are people, our groups, our individuals who are also doing the same thing, you know?
Do you ever feel the weight and the responsibility of changing people's lives? Because ultimately you create the space, but someone can meet someone there who can completely change the trajectory of their life. They could meet a business partner, they could meet, a friend, there's some that could happen from the spaces that you create. So does that ever weigh on you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, where you're thinking that what I'm doing is actually impact work? Or do you ever think of it that way at all?
To be honest with you, no.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's usually the aftermath of it all where I would have friends who would reach out to say like, hey, I met so many lovely people at your event this past weekend or whatever the case was. And I think for me, it's like the energy you put out is also energy you receive. And I do like to believe that the people I've met up until this point in my life have all been a reflection of just different personalities of mine,
Yeah,
and I would like to, it's very telling because, I know some people kind of fear the idea of mixing friend groups. Me, I never think twice about it. I just, everyone is coming. Everyone's getting the invite. Everyone is, in the same room. And I honestly just think that's like a reflection of the people in my life, I'm surrounded by the right people. I'm surrounded by, people who, again, just have like a part of me that I can see in them, which is why we even connected in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like now when they all come together, I think they can now see that amongst themselves without me having to be presently there. Yeah.
And I think from New Yorkers, from DC people, from Cape Town people, I just want to say thank you. I don't know if we say that enough to you. Thank you for saying yes to the work as well, because it takes a lot to create an event. It takes a lot to bring energies and people and stories and all of this together. So if you haven't heard it yet, it's coming from me and every New Yorker who's ever come to your event, who's ever come to you, an experience that you've created, to say thank you, Chimz.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. No, honestly, thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to say that I didn't ask you? There might be a round 2 of this episode. I don't know. But is there anything that I didn't ask you or that we didn't discuss that you want to kind of, as you wrap up, that you can say or ask or, I don't know.
Honestly, it would just have to be, if there's truly a given moment to do anything, it's now. And I think with all things considered, it's almost like a message I just want to say. It's just like, don't leave room for any regrets. Like, we hear it, but it's true, because you don't know what you want to put out into the world could do for someone else, or it could do for other people. And I think, especially if you are in the city, if you're not in the city, it's like, this is the place you can make it happen.
Yeah.
You just need to do it.
Yeah. It's New York or nowhere.
It's literally New York, nowhere. If you can do it in New York, trust.
You can do it anyway.
You can do it anyway. That's how it goes. Like, that's good.
No, that's great. This has been such an impactful and insightful conversation for me as well. It just gives context. But for people who come and dance and go home, now they know who the man is behind it all. I have a gift for you that we put together. Look at you. I prepared a gift for you, and I am going to, let me see, I'm going to try and find it behind me. We put together this gift. It's from our friends at Manhattan Avenue.
Hey.
Oh, it's a big one. It's as big as me. But we kind of put this little gift together to say thank you for your time.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. And everything in here has been, something that has been thought about, has been considered, and it's to kind of say thank you. So maybe hand over your gift.
Thank you so much. This is so sweet.
Avenue, and we just want to say thank you. So
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
While he opens up his gift and admires what is inside, I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in and watching this installment of the Vuyo Show. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah.
Manhattan Avenue is in the house.
This is great. I love it. I love it.
But no, there's a lot more inside there. You want to do an unboxing live?
I'll definitely do an unboxing. Let's do it. We have the latest edition of Manhattan Avenue.
Yes.
Right here.
Let's do it. Oh, what's next?
And what's next? We have this is very sweet. Time goes by so fast. People go in and out of your life. You must never miss an opportunity to tell these people how much they mean to you. That's a word right there. That's a word.
You mean a lot to New Yorkers, so you deserve that. You
I
deserve
really appreciate
that.
Oh, no, that's so sweet.
You can write the names of all the people that have.
Imagine. I might need more than one.
Yeah.
And then here we have, oh, this is nice. Because it's funny, I was actually on Amazon. I was like, I need some new. I'm so serious. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
That's to give you energy.
To give me energy.
Yeah.
This is my energy holder
With
right
the
here.
coffee cup when they're giving you strength and you need coffee.
Just need a little bit.
Drink them from the Manhattan Avenue Co.
I love it. I love that. Okay. And let's see. There is one card.
Just a little thank you. There's something else in there.
I felt something.
This bag is here.
There we go. Let's see what this is.
Yeah. This is brighten up your home.
I like it.
So when you're in your space, you think of us. You smell us.
I will very much smell you guys for sure. The scent is so nice. Okay. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the show, and the broader Manhattan Avenue, family and community appreciates you as well. So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
That
was a live unboxing. Look at that.
A live unboxing. Manhattan Avenue is where it needs to be. Yeah. I love this.
Thank you so much, Chimz. Ladies and gents, that was the one and only Chimz, who shared his extraordinary journey of building in New York. I hope that you learned a thing or two about growing a business in the city. And of course, that you took some of the gems that he had to share with us about how you can sustain it and grow it and build it to become a global brand, because that's exactly what it is. We'll see you on the next episode. I'm your host, Vuyo. And from me, Chimz, and the entire team at The Vuyo Show, it's goodbye and have a good one.